The Mortal Kombat series has some of the most passionate and sometimes unforgiving fans of any game franchise. Over 30 years, Mortal Kombat has experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, from the gold standard Mortal Kombat 2 to the abominable Mortal Kombat Special Forces. I recently posted twice on my community page, asking you to give me your hottest Mortal Kombat take. I received over 250 responses, so thank you for commenting, and I compiled a list of some to react to in today's video. Before we begin, I'd like to point out that I will not comment specifically on Mortal Kombat 1 being a quote-unquote bad game. I don't think it's necessarily an unpopular opinion, and I received numerous comments like this. Since so many of you share that opinion, I'll save that topic for another time. Without any further ado, here are my reactions to your unpopular Mortal Kombat opinions. First up, we have a comment from Sean A. Miller 191, who writes, "The 3D era games weren't that great." I'm going to disagree with this comment right off the rip. I can understand why some may not enjoy the 3D era games, starting with MK4 and ending with MK vs DC, and I'll admit that I was not thrilled about the move to 3D, and there's certainly a lot of bad mixed in throughout, from characters like Cobra to the infamously bad endings in Mortal Kombat 4. However, from my perspective, the 3D games drew me back into the series, starting with Deadly Alliance. I skipped Mortal Kombat 4, but can explicitly remember being excited to play Deadly Alliance and Deception. Conquest was an incredible addition to the series, and I really enjoyed the Crypt and Motor Combat. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot to dislike about the 3D era, but it was more good than bad for me. And we got characters like Kenshi, Ashura, Onaga, Frost, and Havoc. The next unpopular opinion comes from Aaron Rafii 9658, and sorry if I butchered that, who writes, "MK11 is great, I love it more than MKX." This definitely qualifies as an unpopular opinion, and it's one that I wholeheartedly disagree with. Again, like I said in the intro, people like what they like, so I don't anticipate changing anyone's mind if they genuinely enjoyed MK11 more than MKX. I can only speak from my experience on this one. MKX is unquestionably my favorite game of the NRS era, with MK9 being a close second. MKX had everything I wanted in a Mortal Kombat game. We had the run button once again, I enjoyed the simplicity of the 3 variations for each character, and the new roster additions I found fun, including D'Vorah and all of the combat kids. After playing MKX religiously for 4 years, MK11 dropped, and while I love the roster and the costumes, the gameplay fell flat for me. It felt like such a come down from the fast-paced environment created by MKX. What's even crazier is that I completely forgot that I played through the entire MK11 story. Heading into Mortal Kombat 1, I told myself that I would play MK11, so I went out and purchased the Ultimate Edition, only to learn that I've already beaten it. I appreciate those who enjoyed MK11, and I did to an extent, but MKX reigns supreme in my eyes, and I will never say that MK11 is better than MKX. The next unpopular opinion comes from official Gauge the Pyro 5391, who writes, "Not every character needs to be in every story mode. If someone dies, they can stay dead in the story and still be in arcade, multiplayer, etc." This one received 15 upvotes, so perhaps it's not a hot take, but I agree with this one. How often have we seen a character die in the story mode only to return in the following game? For characters like Scorpion and Noob Saibot, it makes sense. They are not human, so the rules don't apply. But with the constant time manipulation, characters can reappear at any time. It eliminates any emotional connection you had with the character's death, which now means nothing. They also could just become a revenant or enter from a different timeline. I'm not saying that Johnny Cage should not have returned in MK4, or that Shao Kahn should have stayed on the sideline after the Deadly Alliance took him out, but there is way less gravity when characters can just reappear. Also, more to the commenter's point, I get that there are mystical powers at work in the MK universe, but a character does not have to appear in the story to justify their spot on the roster. Next up, we have a comment from Cosmic King 5024, who writes, "The movie is overhated. Cut out Cole Young and it's decent." This is an interesting topic for me, and probably something I'll dive into deeper in another video. I enjoyed the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie, but it had flaws. The Arcana nonsense stands out as the most egregious inclusion in the movie to justify these characters' otherworldly powers. However, I think the movie was good for the most part, probably a 6.5 out of 10. It's not better than the 95 movie in my opinion, and I think the main reason is Cole Young. Dropping a non-universe character into the movie was a bold decision, and everyone knew it. It made no sense to have a new character come in and be the main character, especially with such iconic personalities like Johnny Cage left out entirely. The movie is decent, and I think they're lucky to be making another one, and I hope that it improves, but leaving Cole Young out and inserting another character could have improved it significantly. Next we have a comment from YoungBucky69, who writes, "While most people hated her, I actually like Ronda Rousey as Sonya. Sonya is a tougher, no-nonsense character, and Ronda Rousey shows that in her acting. Yes, some lines may come as emotionless, but the lines that show no emotion don't really need that emotion, as Sonya is not a very expressive character." This might be the hottest take of the whole video, because I think most MK fans dislike Ronda Rousey's portrayal of Sonya Blade. It felt like an opportunity to cash in on a big name, and something that continued in MK1 with Megan Fox. As for Ronda Rousey's performance, I think it felt lifeless for a character who has shown emotion in the past. She had her moments in the story, but the intros were not great.
How do I earn your respect?
Beat me unmercifully.
Drill Sergeant Blade reporting.
The biggest issue is not getting these actors and actresses proper voice acting guidance before putting them in front of a microphone. That's not to say she had no lessons, and there was no chance NetherRealm or Warner Brothers would tell her she was not doing the part. They also could not sit there and have her redo the lines hundreds of times, because she's an actual celebrity. Next we have a pair of comments from SealessHerd3597 and DarkNerdman9816, both of whom write that it's okay not to have Anthony Starr as the voice actor for Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1 as long as there's a suitable replacement. This topic has gained a lot of steam over the past month or so. Anthony Starr has gone on record multiple times stating that he is not voicing Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1, despite the game using his likeness. Although he voiced Homelander in Call of Duty, for whatever reason, whether it be money or creative differences, he is not doing the same for Mortal Kombat. I do feel that Anthony Starr's voice is iconic in the role, especially when delivering monologues and hurling insults at other characters, but I'm okay with an alternative voice actor as long as the replacement is similar. The final unpopular opinion comes from Space Landslip, who writes, "Some fan bases are way too passionate for a character to the point where it gets concerning. If they are not in the game, they are not in the game for a reason, and people can find other characters to play as and enjoy instead of just demanding that character get put back in." This touchy subject shows how passionate fans can be, but it also reaches levels it shouldn't. Most of us know what happened in Mortal Kombat 11 when Mileena was not on the base roster. The dedicated Mileena fanbase stayed consistent with their requests, but it escalated, which is never okay. I don't care how much you like a character, it should never reach the point of threatening another person's life. And I know that that doesn't represent the majority of Mortal Kombat fans, but it's definitely alarming. As we know, Mileena eventually made it into the game. I understand the dedication of some fans, but not having your favorite fighter in a game allows you to explore other options. What are your thoughts on these hot takes and my responses to them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and leave a like if you're into that sort of thing.